Georgia has been called a gateway between East and West. Geographically situated at the center of a dynamic, rapidly changing region of the globe, its democracy has developed against the odds, while many of its neighbors have not fared as well. The nation's president, Giorgi Margvelashvili, recently visited the Wilson Center to discuss the state of his country's democracy and its growing ties with the West. That's the focus of this edition of Rewind.
I think there are few places in the world which would be so appropriate to visit and to discuss and share as the Wilson Center, because, to put it short, the goal of my mission and goal of all our international activities is basically targeted to put Wilsonian principles of international relations into action. Being a part of the Silk Road, which is also routes of which are running north to us as well as south to us, we present a very important solution for stability and choice in the Silk Road communication. Keeping Georgia independent, keeping Georgia successful, keeping Georgia as a viable, democratic, strong democracy in the Caucasus is going to be decisive for future of a major region. We are part of that story, and we are victims of the story, and Georgia, as well as Ukraine, as well as Moldova, has suffered territorial issues just because of their own decision to develop their identity, their political orientation, their foreign policy within the rights that they have been granted as independent states and the rights that is protected by international law.
We've all been reading in the newspaper in the last week or so about the effort of ISIS, Daesh, this enormously toxic terror group in the Middle East, to recruit foreign fighters. And the number of foreign fighters recruited so far has gone way up. The estimates have gone up to about 30,000. I understand some of those, not a large number, have come from Georgia. What is your government doing to counter terror recruitment?
This is a standing problem for majority of countries, and not only of the region, but of Europe and
of the U.S.
and of the U.S. too. And there is a bigger question how ISIS and those ISIL and other groups are able to maintain their financial stability and be able to recruit. It is very interesting that you mentioned Muslim community. It is sad to observe that this happens in places where actually Muslim traditional Muslim community is weakened. In the and this is very interesting detail of Georgian specifics, is where we have strong Muslim community living in a strong congregation, not nominally Muslim, but when they are part of congregation, you have much less and practically no engagements in ISIS. What are we doing in this respect? We are trying to develop a legislature which will, on one hand, give us opportunities to engage more actively in the process, and on the other hand, not violate the rights of the citizens on peace, on freedom of movement, etc.
You mentioned his social and economic issues. He's made no secret of the fact that his effort to clean up corruption and impose rule of law in Ukraine is not going very well. What was the secret sauce that made it work in Georgia when it doesn't work in most countries?
Well, it was a very tough process, a process which was linked to the social demand from the voters, which was based on the acknowledgement of the fact that Georgia was turning into a failing system. And so it took a courage of lots of political leaders as well as the public servants to conduct this reform, and the reform is still going on for fighting the corruption and for keeping corruption figures low, simultaneously maintaining a strong and feasible and workable government.
What do you want your legacy as president to be?
I want to bring Georgia to the next level of stable and strong democracy. Publicly, I want, not politically, but in the social field, I want to be associated with strengthening with the whole concept and feeling of the rule of law and its adoption in society. Though I'm not a member of a political party, and I don't intend to become a member of a political party, I want to be associated with strengthening political parties as the main players on Georgian political field. That is extremely important because we had and have confrontations between political groups, and that is different. And we have to have strong political parties with strong ideologies, stable and there to stay. So those are my tentative.
For more information on Georgia and related topics, visit wilsoncenter.org. Click the Research tab and search under the Kennan Institute.